Hey guys, it's Stephen and Phil here, back on another video on Club Footy, and today we're going to take a closer look to a massive talking point amongst Arsenal fans. The iconic Adidas Arsenal collaboration is back. It's back next season, and basically the internet's gone wild with the ideas of what their kits could look like, and most importantly, the Bruised Banana kit. Now that might sound weird, but Phil will fill you in on that.
Yeah, so this is the worst kept secret in shirts, I think, is that basically now that Adidas are back with Arsenal, it makes complete sense that they're going to go back to probably the most memorable kit design, I would say, for Arsenal ever, actually. And this is the early 90s away shirt, which is colloquially known as the Bruised Banana shirt, because basically, I don't know if they intended this, but when Adidas made this shirt and it was a yellow base with this sort of black and grey gradient pattern, it does actually look very much like this kind of muddy, slightly murky design, which is a bit like a Bruised Banana, so it's a great nickname, I think.
So what we thought we'd do today, essentially, is look through some of the best concept kits, because the home kit, no one's asked about that really, and it's the away kit is where it's at, basically, and this is the one that's got people excited. And there are rumours, according to some people in the know, yes, there are in the know kit people, that basically Arsenal are going back to this. So we're going to run through a few different templates and concept kits we see on Twitter, basically. We're going to start firstly with Kift Graphics. I don't know how you pronounce that, but basically this is his, on Twitter, his mock-up of this kit. Phil, what is your esteemed take on this?
Yeah, this is a very understated approach. Obviously, the previous kit was very much all about that pattern. This one lets the yellow take over. I think this one, this particular design is a nice subtle nod. It reminds you a bit of what Germany did with their home kit. Yeah. You know, where they, rather than kind of taking the full effect of the pattern, they sort of dulled it down a bit. I don't particularly like that colour. It reminds you, we were just talking about Vancouver Whitecaps' new kit. It's that kind of thing.
I don't think it fits in what he's done with everything else there,
I wouldn't say it fits in.
The geometry of the triangles and that.
Yeah, but I think this is a very realistic mock-up. I'd expect the kit to be a bit more along the lines of this, a bit of a safer option. So yeah, good start though.
To me, I definitely prefer the focus on the darker, like, you know, on the pattern of it. This one for me, by Rupert Abel, A-L-B-E. Rupert Albee. We'll get there eventually. This one is a very different approach. There's a lot more kind of patterns going on there. It's a lot more. It looks almost too neat to be true, essentially. I mean, obviously, it's a concept, but I just can't see for some reason Adidas going for something like that, because it just makes too much sense almost.
Well, this one, it's very much, not so much the Bruised Banana, it's more like the Holland 88 template.
Yeah, it is actually.
And Adidas kind of already have done that with Spain's away shirt, and if you saw the UAE kits, if you're really into kits,
I didn't, I'm not gonna lie.
You would have seen one of them, I think it was the home or the away, had a pattern again like this. So I think it's an option for Adidas, but probably not enough of a Bruised Banana vibe. But as a kit, and this one actually was doing the rounds in the fake shirt market. A few
really?
Shirts popped up with this design, because this one came out a few months ago. People are very quick to jump on those.
They really are, aren't they?
They are. But it's a nice kit, and I think if Adidas were going to use a template they've already done, that's the kind of direction they can go.
This one for me is decent. It's from Free Mazprat. Essentially, it's quite simple. It's not too dissimilar to the original, really. They've kind of kept it quite plain, and this actually looks like something that could actually exist.
Yep, yeah, I think this one, I don't know if it's just the picture here, but the shade of yellow does look a little bit off for me. That's a bit too luminous if we're getting really picky. Similar to the first one, but I think this one, definitely the pattern is obviously a bit
There's
smaller,
more going on.
So there's more going on. Personally, I prefer the first one, I think, if we're going to compare. But I'd agree, and there's something about they've just got to definitely evoke that pattern in order to please
I think they have
fans.
to,
Yeah, I think that is a good direction.
What do you make of this one from Agron Designs? I'm not really keen on this one. It's probably my least favourite so far, really.
So
I'm not keen on just the mismatch of colours a bit.
Yeah, the colours are
not quite right.
A bit confusing for me too. I mean, the pattern, similar to the previous one, that kind of smaller design, which I think is good. But yeah, I don't particularly like the red three stripes there, and even the blue as well. It's something a bit off for me there.
The blue's a bit off, isn't it? And the red as well. Like I think there's too many colours going on there. Yeah. Not enough focus is once again on the actual pattern. And if anything, all the colours on the sleeves and on the stripes take away from the rest of the shirt. So for me, that one is possibly my least favourite so far. Sorry, Agron Designs. Turbinal, which is his take. This is quite simple, quite sultry. It looks like a training top to me. That's what I would say though. It's a simple, subtle take on the pattern once again. Personally, I'm not keen on the colours. But Phil, what's your...
Yeah.
What do you disagree or...
No, I think this one the thing that stands out the most, well, there's two things. It's the red again. So you've got the Adidas logo, the sponsor red, which I'm struggling to get on board with, and also just the cut of the sleeves there. So you see where the chest kind of folds over. That is an interesting kind of construction of the shirt. You don't usually see that. I'd expect Adidas potentially, if we're going off their recent MLS kits, if they do that for Arsenal, you're going to have raglan sleeves, which is basically contrast sleeve sections.
Yeah.
So if they were going to do that, I think that's a more likely direction. I'd be surprised if they did something like this. You don't usually see that sort of style. But again, I think the pattern, you can see the consistency.
Yeah,
with
people are going for it.
I think they're understanding that you're more likely to get a subtle pattern like these concepts. So,
now, this one for me is my favourite. I can see why people wouldn't like it. This is from Edits by Ronan, because essentially they've gone full on with the old Adidas logo as well, and they've gone for the proper modern, like nice fitted thing. And they've obviously got Lacazette looking great in the kit, and they kept the colourway relatively simple. I mean, it's obviously Instagram like hell in terms of the edit, but I quite like it. I think it's fun and I think it's bold. And to me, this is my favourite so far. I don't like the colour of the Fly Emirates logo. That's what I will say though. I think it doesn't contrast very well. But
this is it's the most ambitious of the ones we've seen. I think this one is probably the least likely to be made as well, but that doesn't stop it from being a great design. I think, like you say, that this is probably the most faithful pattern in terms of...
It's a more dated version, isn't it?
It's hard to tell, obviously, because it is heavily edited, how much of that pattern is actually darker, because that's what I like about this design. You see the actual pattern.
The darker you come out.
The way it goes darker, it reminds you of the Bruised Banana kit, and that's something which we didn't really see in these previous concepts. Again, if you go back to that great mock-up of Aubameyang in the old kit there, that is that original shirt. There's a lot of the dark grey, the blacks in the pattern, and I think that's something which is captured nicely or honoured.
That mock-up of Aubameyang in that shirt shows how great that shirt actually was.
Yes.
Why didn't they just go for that? This is the kind of shirt that makes me wish long sleeve shirts were more of a thing when you see like that. And obviously the iconic pictures of Ian Wright in it as well. Anyway, guys, that's just some of the takes. Which one was your favourite of all them, Phil?
I think for creativity, it's the final one.
The Ronan one,
Yeah, I think that one. And obviously, it's unlikely to be made, but I do like that.
I think the second one was quite nice as well.
Yep.
By Rupert Albee. That was quite nice and simple.
Good.
Yeah, that's very considered. With the others, I think there's too much going on. That one's quite considered. Yeah. I mean, not quite as faithful to the pattern, but a really nice shirt.
And I think shout out to the first one from Kif.
Yeah, that's also
graphics.
Quite nice.
I think possibly a better colour away from being my favourite there as well.
Guys, which one was your favourite? What? How would you also like to see the Arsenal shirt design for next season? We'll maybe cover the home one as the season closes in for next year. But for now, we just want to take a very close look at the Bruised Banana. It's going to be very exciting seeing Arsenal back with Adidas next season. City with Puma as well. So there's going to be a few changes around. It's going to be very, very interesting. Don't forget, if you are new to Club Footy, make sure you subscribe for all your news on football shirts, boots, culture, and all that kind of stuff. And Stephen, this is Phil. In a bit.